One look and I breathe.
Hello, Rachel. How are you doing? So everyone, my friend Rachel May is an amazing human being that I've recently connected with, as I have invited her to help me co-host the Aphrodite Awakening Retreat happening in September in Aegina in Greece. And the reason I wanted Rachel to be a part of this whole experience is, first of all, because she's already a part-time resident of Aegina, but more importantly, she brings to the table exactly those aspects of the work that I want the participants to the retreat to do, to discover all parts of themselves. So amongst many other things, which I will let her explain, Rachel is a shadow work coach. So she helps people discover their dark feminine and all their gremlins, I would say. She sent me an introduction earlier saying that she loves, what was it, birth, sex, and death, or the other way around?
All of them, it doesn't matter.
The order doesn't matter, right?
It's the cycle. It goes around and around.
Absolutely. And of course, everyone knows that if you speak to me for 5 minutes, you're going to have to end up speaking about sex. And I feel that that was one of the things that connected us very much, on top of our red hair. So two hot, fiery redheads who love talking about sex. I mean, what could go wrong? So, Rachel, tell us a little bit about the Pleasure Festival and about the shadow work, and how does sex, birth, and death really, let's say, feature in your life?
Thank you, Valentina. Well, I think I've realized that what connects them all is that I'm not scared of the messy stuff. Like, bring yourself as you are. It doesn't matter what is going on in your life, what you're presenting out to the world, because my belief is that we all have a really strong core ability to connect into something far deeper than what we sort of tend to live our lives with. So I like sort of going through the messy stuff to get to those crystals and get to those really juicy, it's like sucking the bone marrow out of life. And I believe that the three things that I love, birth, sex, and death, are all ways of really deeply feeling that full expression of humanity and of life. So I've just come off an absolutely stunning festival called Pleasure Fest that my friend Nikki Wetherall and I started last year. And it was so beautiful to see 40 humans arrive in a beautiful yoga and tantra retreat center in Kent, the Garden of England, and just be transformed over 2.5 days into this world of authenticity, openness, pleasure, exploration, and really being willing to go there and go through the difficult stuff and expand. And I think what I'm feeling today is an energetic glow. I'm feeling like I can feel what everybody this weekend has experienced, even though I was there in the position of facilitator and holding space. So this is what I'm hoping to bring to Aegina in September, and it makes me feel juicy and excited to be part of it with you.
Well, I am very, very excited and a little bit jealous, to be perfectly honest, because I wish I was with you in Kent this weekend to experience that as a participant, because I know that the energy that you bring to any group, to any workshop that you do is amazing, just based on our conversations as, you know, people who are getting to know each other and trying to build something together. And I am super, super excited about this opportunity to co-host with you. So would you like to tell us a little bit about how does this exploration into pleasure, into the dark side, into the juicy treasures that you are hunting and helping people find, I guess, how does that sit with you in your life? What are the gifts that all of this work is giving you as a person?
I think that the first thing that comes to mind when asked that question is I'm reminded of what a therapist said to me about 12 years ago. She said that humans are a bit like a multifaceted diamond. And we choose what we show to the world, and that's absolutely fine. We choose which parts we show to our parents and which parts we show to lovers and which parts we show to our children. And this intrigued me. And I think it's what led me really to do the shadow work training and to do the shadow work myself, because I realized that there were parts of my psyche that I was keeping hidden. And I want to be a full, 3D, 5D diamond. I want to show everybody my brilliance, and I want to help other people to shine and experience their full potential. And it doesn't mean that you have to be everything to everyone, but it means that you are able to choose out of a much bigger, what would the word be? Sort of a much bigger array of parts of yourself that you get to know, which just expands my experience of life. And I can see how various things along my journey have supported that in different ways, but shadow work has definitely been the biggest aspect to that. And
I think that is so powerful to reveal those hidden sides, right? Because unless we are brave enough to want to face that shadow, to face the dark side of our bright, shiny diamond of personality, we're just really showing the very narrow or a very limited amount of our power as women or men, whatever, it doesn't really matter. As you were speaking, I was reminded of 2 Saturdays ago, I hosted a one-day concentrated version of the work or the retreat that we are putting together for Greece. And it really, I just got some feedback from one of the participants today to say that it was overwhelming. One, because I actually tried to cover about 2.5 days of the content that we're going to do in Greece, so that people could have a lot of the transformation that you wanted. But I know that the amount of stuff that we went through and all of the deep work was quite overwhelming. But also that I witnessed a very similar thing, that, just in a short space of a few hours, whether it is a day or 2 or 3 or 5, revealing those other parts of each individual person's brightness and brilliance is such a beautiful experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is the Pleasure Fest then? Let's talk about that, because we're also going to talk about pleasure in Egina and bring that out to shine. So tell us a little bit about what happened at the Pleasure Fest, and then we can talk a little bit about what we are thinking of doing together.
So Pleasure Fest is an experiential weekend looking at all different types of pleasure. So the food is delicious. The venue is stunning. We had roses, and it's run by a gardener who just really has the most beautiful attention to detail. And then we had workshops on shibari, on body confidence, on boundaries and consent, on sex archetypes, which is what I'm bringing to Egina. And then we had a temple night in the evenings. There were hot tubs for people to enjoy. And the temple nights, I find a really beautiful, sacred experience to hold, because, you know, we take people through a journey of consent games, and then join people up into groups so that they can give each other pleasure. And it's not your everyday thing that you come across. And the feedback that we're getting doing these events is so beautiful, because we feel like we're holding the space really, really well. We're being told that. We're being told that people are feeling safe in our hands. And you know, that for Nikki and I, you know, is a really, really important part of this sort of work, because it can be quite edgy, and people, and it does bring healing. You know, this exploration of sexuality and pleasure, and really allowing yourself to go there, really does heal aspects of ourselves that other things don't tend to touch.
Yeah, it's that juiciness that you mentioned, right? The like being so completely naked, and I don't mean physically, just I mean
You can be.
yeah, of course, but I mean fully naked as in intimate and vulnerable with a bunch of people who are there for everyone's pleasure. So that sharing this experience is so beautiful.
Yeah, and it's not always sexual, it's not always sensual. It can just be a glance. It can just be a little conversation. You know, there's so many different aspects of, you know, things that feel good to our bodies. And it's a lot of tuning in, a lot of feeling into, a very good friend of mine calls it a sort of internal thermometer, or an internal, what's the word he uses? Barometer. To sort of just feel into how your body is feeling. What is the instinctive feeling? And if it isn't bliss and pleasure, then what is it that it needs? What is it that your body needs? So there was a lot of that. There was a lot of sort of meditation and yoga and that sort of thing to really get into the body and out of here, because, you know,
yeah, that's where the cage is, isn't it? The cage that keeps the pleasure out, and where the fear lies as well. So you mentioned sexual archetypes, and that would be the topic of one of the workshops that we're going to bring to the participants in Egina. Can you tell us a little bit about what these sexual archetypes are, and what can people expect from such a workshop?
Yeah. So I don't know whether you've come across the Jungian archetypes of lover, magician, sovereign, and warrior. This is looking at 8 archetypes within the lover aspect. So they're called the sex archetypes, or the lover archetypes, or the lover masks. And they are things like the shy, curious lover. So that part of you that is a little bit shy, but a little bit curious, and the part of you that likes dressing up, you know, just, you know, a bit girly. Then there's the sort of lusty, passionate part that really, you know, just wants to put on a nice bit of lingerie, or if, you know, if you're or a silk robe or something. And then there's the priestess and the seeing sex as, or the priest seeing sex as a thing to be honored, a sacred act, bringing ritual into it, lighting a candle. So there's different, I'm not going to, let all the cats out of the bag.
Of course. Keep some for us.
But it's an exploration into all of the different lover masks or sex archetypes that we have access to. And often we get trapped in one or perhaps two of them, and we don't explore all of the others. And this is a way, sex is a bit like food. If you're eating the same food every day, you're doing it the same every day, it gets a bit tedious. So, really exploring what's out there, what's in here, in order to fully express your sexuality and your desires.
I am very excited, not only because we're talking sex, but because this work is very new to me as well. As you are the priestess of this pleasure stuff, a lot more than me. So I'm going to be a very avid participant in that part of the experience in Greece. And obviously, as you said, we're not going to let all the cats out of the bag. We're going to keep some of the secret behind what else we're going to do to also bring the birth and the death aspects of it that we talked about before. Because as you sort of hinted at earlier with shadow work, a lot of this new discovery process of embracing the shadow also involves letting some of our old versions of ourselves die so that new versions of ourselves can come to light. Exactly. And to me, that is the most exciting part of this journey that we've been working on for people who are joining. Because I think that's one of the hardest parts, the letting the old me die is something that a lot of times carries a lot of guilt, carries a lot of sadness, carries a lot of, it's part of this difficulty that I know I have of letting go and just sort of moving into a new version of myself. But that's really where the beauty of this work is for me, just pushing that boundary and going through that grief process, but coming out stronger and brand new and shiny at the other end.
I think it's really useful also to know that it's not the whole thing that is going to die, and sometimes perhaps, but it's just little parts of us that we need to let go of. It doesn't have to all happen at the same time.
Yes, for the record, we're not killing anyone.
Yes, we're not.
Everyone will make it out alive, we promise. Alive and well.
More alive than they come.
Absolutely, and shining even brighter than before. And this Rihanna song keeps going around in my head, shine like a diamond, shine bright like a diamond, because that is definitely how I think we all will feel at the end of it when we're done with this. So a final question, because I'm not sure how long you have, and I already took up a lot more of your time than I was planning. As you are continuing to grow yourself in this space, what is the new you looking forward to, or what version of you are you looking forward to creating or revealing? Have you thought about that, or is that too personal? If it is, it's okay not to answer.
Thank you. It's a really interesting question, because recently I've been realizing that the life that I desired, I am living. So it feels like now, and in fact, what is happening now is a deeper trusting of my instinct and my inner knowing, and an ability to let go of wanting things to be absolutely like this, and just saying, okay, I am here, I am open, and what is it that that I need to step into. So it's a sort of it's putting my desires, or not aside, because I still have desires, but it's like saying I'm open and I'm here. What is the guidance? What is requested of me? And being open to hearing what that is.
That's very beautiful. And I think that's another reason why we connected so quickly, because I very much share that position right now in my life. There's a lot of potential opportunities. I don't know exactly where this road would lead me, but I'm very much excited about the journey, not so much about the destination.
Absolutely.
And I welcome every challenge. Well, thank you, Rachel. I really appreciate the time that you took. I'm sorry you rushed home just to get into all these technical problems, but when there's a will, there's a way. When there's two wills, nothing can stand in our way, right? So one way or another, this message will go out to people who hopefully are still considering joining us, because I know it's going to be an amazing experience, and you and I will connect separately and privately in the next couple of days, now that your Pleasure Fest is done and my mini retreat is done, so we have a little bit more time for practicing. And yeah, I'll look forward to doing a video with you in Greece, so that we can share with our listeners some of the cherry on the cake of what is actually being prepared for Egina in September. So anyone listening, Rachel and I will be co-hosting several workshops at the Aphrodite Awakening Retreat in September 10th to the 15th. If you haven't signed up yet, and this what Rachel shared sounded interesting to you, please get in touch. Rachel, some final words?
Oh, I'm just really looking forward to being with you in the flesh, and
Me too.
And making magic with you. I've got a feeling it's going to be pretty powerful.
Yes, me too. Thank you once again. I'll be in touch soon, and thank you for the audience for putting up with all our technical issues and listening to us. So have a great day, everyone, and a great evening. Thank you.